So welcome back everyone for more Scrap Mechanic. Today I have done some expanding on the base platform. You can see it's getting a little bit longer out there in the distance. So to make it easier to move everything over there, and more importantly for future production work, I want to work on, once again, a floating vehicle. But this one's going to be a little simpler. This is going to be pretty much just one that I need to have floating well enough that it can transport some cargo boxes that are connectable cargo boxes, so I can carry them over there, and it's going to have to support the weight of, I'm assuming at least 4, probably more, thrusters, because I'm going to need some way to go in reverse if I want to be able to back up into a parking spot. So yeah, if all I do is place down, and again, I'm going to have to like redo this because I tried to do it with an even number, and yet this is one of those cases where it needs an odd number of spaces for it to even out, and just that one lowers it a little bit. I can understand that, and of course it's leaning a little bit this way, it seems. Actually, I might just, well, no, it is leaning a little bit. You can see it just right there, just a tiny bit, which I understand because it is kind of, you know, going in that direction. I add that piece to there. Yeah, should be there. Yes. So now I have 3 blocks wide on it. Yeah, that, like that. There we go. So 3 wide, perfect spot for a chair now, and that should even it out more for that. Actually, let's lay it. Well, no, I don't want to lay it flat because I want it to face. What I'm thinking is having it, which is the wrong way, but having it where it can connect from the back. So let's say I go in reverse, I move this into a docking spot, and there is a sensor at like 2 blocks distance or whatever, connected to a vacuum pump. Vacuum pump basically hits that, starts pumping stuff out of it and up into a storage system above, and basically once this one's attached, anything attached to it gets empty too. So I can use this as a way to have a bunch of chests all connected, and it all gets sucked and emptied out onto the base platform storage, and then I can have a spot here that does the reverse where I dump everything in, maybe from, say, the scout vehicle or my work truck coming back from doing stuff. It just docks and everything gets transported into the cargo barge. That's why it's going to be a cargo barge. I need to be able to transport supplies regardless, but at the same time, before I put in too much effort and planning into trying to make this work with this, you know, type of setup, I need to go ahead and test it. So if I put those in there, not connected, but it's, I mean, close. Oh, what? No, you can't put into that chest. That's a problem. And still doesn't work. Okay, so is it like this? Oh, wait, yeah, direction. No, okay. Well, that's not working at all. So I wonder, it has to be that it's fitting the right way, because I can't place it any closer. I mean, that's dead on. It should be pumping to that. Using the vacuum pump, you can place crops, you can harvest crops, you can even place blocks with the vacuum pump. But you can't pump into a storage container. That is a big oversight there. That doesn't make sense, that you cannot pump into the container, but you can place a block or even plant a crop with it. Really, that means now all I can do for the moment, until they hopefully fix that with a very near update, because that is a missing aspect, I'm just going to have to stack stuff on here and basically make it where, oh yeah, I load these up onto a vehicle, I go out and harvest, I come back, and as opposed to pick it up like this, I would pick it up and then just set it down on the vehicle to carry over, which, you know, means I have a little bit more room to play with the balancing, but gets away from the whole nice and simplified automatic item transfer system I was hoping to have. Oh, that's terrible. Again. Just... Alright, I even took the weight off. Come on now. Rise up. What? Seriously? Is it stuck? Come on, lift up. I took the weight off the back. Wow, look at that change right there. I take the one container off and suddenly it's like, hey, I can float like I was supposed to be doing already. Just that little bit of testing, I've used 6 fuel. These are super inefficient. That does not feel like it's been adjusted appropriately for survival mode. Okay, I've upgraded a little bit more. So I think that was 2 upgrades each. So that's 40 already for that. I feel like there should be one more upgrade requirement to move up to the next level. And oh yeah, I need to connect these again so I can simply move forward. That's it. And I'm diving. And of course, no backwards, no turn. So yeah, I feel like thrusters are not very well implemented at this point in the game. I feel like there's so much more that could be done with them and the controls for them that has just not been done. I'm just going to move this in on each side. And we're going to put this up to, yeah, about there, about mid-range. I don't need maximum thrust for it. And I did not upgrade all the way because these are expensive. That's like 50 component kits each to upgrade them to max. That seems just awfully expensive. And I'm still going into the water. I moved them back a little bit, and it still wants to push it into the water. Yep, still lowering in the front. Like, I'm not changing the weight value. It's not changing the buoyancy value, it seems. It seems like it's just focusing on whatever my buoyancy was. Stick with that. More on the front. A few extra blocks on the sides. So I've extended this out a lot further than it was originally. And we're going to try this. No, still going down into the water. 6. So in like 5 attempts, just a few seconds each to try this and move it, I've burned through 14 fuel. All right, let's try this again. Paddle! All right, paddles don't do anything, apparently. They just don't work. So I'm assuming that's going to be one of my options right there. You know what? I am just about fed up with this. I think it's time to completely scrap the whole design and start again. All right, new design, a little bit more boat-like. And I decided to try this in terms of steering. So, yeah, I've got... Well, I think they're reversed from what they need to be. But I've got 2 tires underneath. And we're going to see if this will not steer. It will not steer. Okay, so maybe I can add a block with rotation for the thrusters to make them turn. Oh, wait. Did it actually start turning in the right way? No. No, it's not. So I have confirmed something. If I remove a piece, like say one wheel, from it, changing the buoyancy will update, causing it to lean to that side, sinking a little bit. But if I add the wheel back, the buoyancy does not change. It does not cause it to raise back up correctly until I go and put it back on that, and then it completely changes the buoyancy around. Like that is not at all what it just did. So there is some very weird physics elements going on in terms of buoyancy in the game right now. Just placing it down makes a difference to how it reacts. And I added the wheels up front, and now it's leaning. Well, let's see. Maybe it was just this. I put this back here. And is it leaning more that way? Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Maybe the wheels are not actually adding any buoyancy to it. I'm going to try this, though. I'm going to see if I can actually control those for driving instead of it being the thrusters. Are they? Yeah, they're spinning and they're doing nothing. All right, well, that doesn't work then. Put that on. It should be adjusting the balance, but you see it's still leaning. Everything is even. There's nothing out of balance on the design right now. Everything is placed identical from one side to the next. It should be leveling out, but it's not. If I do this, however, and I drop it in, it's perfectly level. So the buoyancy element is only updating on certain changes and only updating, it seems, for what sinks, not for what raises up. This time, wheels at the back. Almost looks kind of like a rudder type control in a way. But yeah, wheels at the back. I believe I connected them. No, I did not connect them. So let's connect them just to see if that will make any difference in steering. And I'm more concerned with, does it sink? And it still is, it's leaning. And now it's straightening out a little bit. But it's like, it's still going into the water, despite the fact that everything's a little bit balanced and most of the weight is actually at the back of the vehicle. Well, at least it's moving. I put 20 fuel inside, so I'm able to at least move through the water. How good? 6. So it's doing better now that I've really upgraded these, but it's still awful on the fuel consumption. But it's a step in the right direction, at least. I haven't even tried placing any of the storage containers on it yet. I'm sure as soon as I do that, it's going to just start sinking like crazy. But I have at least a semi-boat design. And I did start messing with the pathway light blocks. I'm not sure if I'm really going to keep those because I don't really know what the pathway is going to be. But you can see how big I have expanded this. I've also, I put a rail so I don't fall off. And I've kind of got it going this way. I also swapped, instead of the wood post, I decided to use some of those pieces that I collected from one of the warehouses. I've even got them right underneath that. And I've got a support beam here, a lot of stuff embedded into the rock there. I feel like this is probably big enough at this point. And it does give me enough coverage area for right under here. So either I could come up this side or come up into this area with my boat, with my little barge, and basically drop supplies off. Again, that's the idea. I'd like to be able to just park it and let a vacuum pump pull everything up into a storage system here. But now I'm starting to think I may have to try and build some kind of elevator and try to reduce the weight of that so it will actually lift in the elevator, because I've already tried an elevator with my work vehicle. Did not even budge because the vehicle's so heavy. Alright, that's it for this round of Scrap Mechanic. I really just need to be playing with the buoyancy and the thruster mechanics a bit and try to figure out how they function in this game, since with the numerous building games, both creative and survival oriented, that I've played in the past, have had physics stuff that they applied as well in the game. This is a good bit different from a lot of those in terms of how things are working and how logical things seem to be, such as you think you would be able to pull stuff from a container using a vacuum pump if you can use a vacuum pump to collect crops, but apparently you can't. So yeah, maybe a soon update is going to fit some of these. Obviously, they're listening to modders, because a lot of modders made mods to adjust the balancing of drop rates in the game, and that last update adjusted the drop rates the same way a lot of these modders have been doing. So, but that's it for this episode. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I'll see you in the next video.